I welcome all the 7th semester civil engineering students for the last session of hydrology and irrigation engineering, session number 6, which module number 4. Myself, Basappa Meti from Government Engineering College, Haveri, is presenting this video. In the last session, we have discussed about the duty of irrigation water. In the continuation of the last session, in the session number 5, in this session 6, the meaning of delta will discuss in a little bit. Delta, as you discussed in the last class, the delta itself is, the meaning of delta itself is the total accumulated volume of water layer by layer during the each watering. The total depth itself is called as delta. Usually it is measured in terms of centimeters and so on, mm or so in centimeters. Delta is total volume of water supplied to the crop or plant. The delta is once again, delta is defined as the total depth of water over the irrigated land required by crop grown on its during entire base period of the crop. From the day of sowing to the end of the harvesting. Or delta may also be defined as total water required by crops for the growth in hectare per hectare meter by hectare. That means hectare cancels, you will get in terms of meters or centimeters. It is denoted by delta, Greek letter delta. The delta is equal to depth of each watering into number of waterings. What we discussed is total delta is equal to depth of each watering into multiplied by the number of waterings. You will get the total volume of water supplied in terms of centimeters over the entire irrigated land. Relationship between duty and delta is an important factor, and base period. The relationship between duty, delta and base period. That means duty is, if you are going denoted as D, delta is the Greek letter delta. As usual, base period is capital B. The relation between D, B and delta. The unit of duty is hectare per cubic, which means the number of hectares irrigated by an average discharge. That means usually duty is equal to A by Q. A by Q, area is in hectares, Q is in discharge, meter cube per second, or cumex, hectare per cubic, right? The relationship can be derived like this, or the relationship between duty delta and base period B. Let the base period which duty is specified as capital B. If the delta is amount of water required per hectare of full growth of crop in meters, usually 1 hectare is equal to 100 meter by 100 meters. 1 hectare means is in an area which measures 100 meters by 100 meters. Then the volume of water is equal to area into depth of water. Usually the area into area multiplied by depth will give the volume. Volume of water is equal to A into D. That is, area is hectares you told. Hectares means 100 meters by 100 meters. 100 meter by 100 meters is 10,000 meters. Multiplied by delta. Call that equation as 1. That means 10,000 multiplied by delta. That is in terms of meter cube, volume of water, meter cube. Okay. Call this equation as 1. Next, volume of water to be used for B period. You designated as base period as B, capital B. That is base period. That the day of sowing to the day of harvesting, you are going to call it as a base period B. B days in terms of days. So B is equal to that volume of water, once again considering the base period, is equal to 1 multiplied by 24 hours, because days means 24 hours. 24 multiplied by 60 minutes by 60 seconds into number of days. You will give the volume of water in terms of meter cube. In volume of water in terms of meter cube. That is 86400 B meter cube. Right? That is called equation, called as number 2. Equation number 2. Next, The duty of water, that is the number of hectares to be irrigated by unit discharge for feed days, is calculated from equation 192. Therefore, both equation 1 and 2 gives the volume of water. So, you can equate the equation number 1 to equation number 2. Both are gives the volume of water. So, if you equate the equation 1 and 2, 8640B into B divided by 10,000 is equal, multiplied by D, delta is equal to, that is D, you can call it as D is equal to 8.64B divided by delta. A simple relation, relation that gives the relation between duty and base period as well as delta. Therefore, duty of water is calculated, D is equal to 8.64 B by delta. D is equal to duty, hectare per cubic, B is equal to number of days, base period, and delta is equal to total volume of water supplied. That is in terms of centimeter, I mean to say. That means depth of water supplied. Therefore, delta is equal to 8.64 B divided by D. One and the same. That is the very good relations you got here. That is D is equal to 8.64 B by D, B by delta, or delta is equal to 8.64 B by D. That is a simple equations, very useful equation for the calculation of the duty as well as delta. Next, consumptive use of water or evapotranspiration. In the little bit we were discussed in the last class about what is the meaning of the consumptive use and how it has been calculated, and what are the other types of the uses of water, right? Consumptive use of water or evapotranspiration. Consumptive use of water is a sum of evaporation and transpiration. That means evaporation by the leaves and soil and other water which is not responsible for the growth of the plant. That is called directly evaporation from the leaves and so on and so forth. So transpiration is the amount of useful water to the plants for its growth, metabolic action, metabolism action, or growth of the plant itself. So therefore, the total consumptive use can be calculated using the evaporation plus transpiration, which is called as evapotranspiration. Right? Evaporation is the water evaporating from the soil water surface and surface of the leaves of the plants. Transfer of water from liquid to vapor. Right? Transpiration. Very good. Transpiration. Look, friends, look at here. Transpiration is the process by which plants loses water from surface of the leaves, stalks, trunks in process of the growth. 99% of total water received by plant growth is lost to atmosphere by this process. Since transpiration is associated with photosynthesis of the plant, what we call as metabolism, or growth of the plant, or growth of the plants for up to its harvesting. Is it not? That is called as evaporation, transpiration. Optimum consumptive use is an amount of water transpired by given crop of which covers ground completely and an adequate water supply. Is it not? Seasonal consumptive use. Seasonal consumptive use are there, and total consumptive use are there, and different consumptive use of water, because during the growth of the plant you can call it as the crop period can be divided at number of days, or number of the periods, or number of the seasons we can call. That is development period, mid period, and harvesting period, end period, like that. Is it not? During different periods or during different seasons of the growth itself, the consumptive use of the water or consumptive use of the plants also different. Is it not? For example, germination, or for the seeding of the plants, seeding of the crops, it may require little bit more water. Once it is coming towards the end of the season, or end of the crop period, or end of the base period, the consumptive use of the water or requirement of the water may be little bit reduced, or completely nil. Is it no? That's how the consumptive use of the water are different for different seasons. Got the idea? Factor affecting consumptive use of the water are important factors. The evaporations depends on humidity. Consumptive use of the water is very important for the supply of the water, which is also the main factors affecting the consumptive use or the water supply to the plants are Evaporation depends on the humidity of the local area. Mean temperature, if the temperature is more, naturally the evaporation is more. The consumptive use of the water, that is you have to supply more water to the plant, right? Wind velocity and locality, wind direction, soil and topography. If the black cotton soil is there, it will hold the water. It will not allow the water will be losses. Water losses are less reduced here. Irrigation practices and methods of irrigation is also an important factor which is affecting the consumptive use and duty of the irrigation water. Depth of water applied for the irrigation. Precipitation in area, that's also an important factor, which is a useful rainfall you can call it as, or net rainfall you can call it as. If there is a rainfall occurring during the crop period or base period or during the growth of the plant itself, the net requirement of the net requirement by the plant will be reduced or lesser than the what we are expected. Is it not? That is called useful rainfall you can call it as. Seasons of the cropping. Seasons of the cropping is definitely we discussed here. That is beginning period or mid period, development period and end period, like that. Depends upon the developments of this seasons also. The consumptive use of water are also different, or supply of the water is also different. Cropping pattern, whether you are going to mixed cropping patterns or a single cropping pattern, like that. Is it not? Depending upon the cropping pattern also, the consumptive use also plants consumptive use of water is depending or changes accordingly during the cropping pattern. Consumptive irrigation requirement, CIR, consumptive irrigation requirement is equal to CU divided minus RE. CU minus RE, where CU is equal to consumptive use, RE is equal to effective rainfall. That means effective rainfall. You have to reduce. You have to deduct the consumptive use. Irrigation in order to get the irrigation requirement, consumptive use minus useful rainfall will give the irrigation requirement for a particular crop. Irrigation requirement, CIR, consumptive irrigation requirement is equal to consumptive use minus the effective rainfall. Because that much effective rainfall is there, that much useful rainfall is occurring in that area, so you have to supply the lesser water according to the rainfall, according to the amount of the rainfall, right? So that therefore CIR is equal to CU minus RE. That's a useful relation. Net irrigation requirement, second definition, or net irrigation requirement, consumptive irrigation requirement, net irrigation requirement. Net irrigation requirement is equal to CU minus RE plus LE. That's important. CU minus RE plus LE. CU as usual, consumptive use of water. RE is usual rainfall. CU minus RE will give the consumptive irrigation requirement plus LE. LE means water losses in percolation. Water losses percolation. You have to account for that. Therefore, irrigation requirement can be assessed. Got the idea? So that is useful rainfall you have considered, and also you have considered the percolation losses also considered, right? So yes, next one, efficiencies, different types of irrigation efficiencies. Efficiency means output by input. Usually you are going to call it as efficiency of the general form is output by input. Is it not? Whatever may be the output divided by input will give the efficiency in terms of percentage and so factors, like that. So here also in irrigation efficiencies, there are so many efficiencies are there. Number one, efficiency of water conveyance. Conveyance efficiency. Conveyance means transporting the water from one place to other place, or that is flow of water from one place to other place. Conveying water or convey losses. It is a ratio of quantity of water delivered to the field to the water supplied. Actually delivery to the field. That means which area you are going to irrigate is the field. So the supply at the end of the canal or at the outlet point of the canal. Therefore, how much of water is actually entering into the field, divided by how much of water supplied at the canal section gives the conveyance efficiency. Now that means you will get the how much of water is lost during the conveyance. Or for example, if you got the efficiency as 89%. 89% means our 11% you have lost during the conveyance. or during the transmission period or during the transportation period, whether it may be an evaporation loss or percolation loss or seepage loss or some other losses. So that's called as conveyance losses. So that bit field water divided by the supply water. Next, quantity of water delivered to the field divided by that quantity. Is it not? Efficiency of water application. Next, second one. Efficiency of water application efficiency. Number one is conveyance. Second one is applications. It is the ratio of quantity of water stored in the root zone of the plant to the quantity of water delivered to the field. Got the idea? That means how much of water actually stored in the root zone, how much of out of the field. So for example, 200 liters of water entering into the field. Out of 200 liters of water, how much of water is actually stored in the root zone of the plant? How much is useful? How much of water that can be absorbed by the plants? Is it not? That is called as water stored at the root zone divided by water supplied at the outlet field. Is it not? No, got the idea? That means, so you are supplying the water from the canal to the field and field to the root zone. From the canal to the outlet to the field is conveyance losses or conveyance efficiency, or from field to the root it is called as application efficiency. Application efficiency. That means actually water stored in the root zone divided by how much of water entering into the field is called as application efficiency. Different types of efficiency continued once again. So water stored in the root zone. Okay. That they are given that some notations are given. For example, application NA is equal to quantity of water stored in the root zone divided by quantity of water delivered to the field. Is it not? WS, that means root zone, stored in the root zone, multiplied by 100 divided by WF. WF means quantity of water delivered to the field. F means field. WS means root stored. Right? So therefore WF is equal to WS plus RF plus DF. RF plus DF. Here is equal to, whereas RF is equal to quantity of water lost by surface runoff. Look at this. Surface runoff. DF is equal to quantity of water lost due to deep percolation. Right? So WS is equal to quantity of water stored. That means quantity of water delivered to the field is equal to, the quantity of water delivered at the field should be equal to quantity of the water stored at the root zone plus RF, quantity of water lost by the surface runoff in the last agirodo, plus quantity of water lost due to deep percolations. Once again at the root zone, it cannot 200 liters of water cannot be stored at the root zone. Some of the water will go into the deeper section or should seepage or percolates into the ground. 200 liters cannot be stored for the or useful for the roots of the plants. Is it not? Out of that, hardly you can get 120 liters. Now I am giving the rough figures that 120 liters of the water may be useful for your plant. Right? So the remaining may be runoff losses may be there due to percolation loss may be there during the storing of the water at the root zone also. Conveyance losses may be there, that is seepage, other loss there. Once again, after supplying to the field also, there will be a loss in the seepage, or there will be loss in the percolation, or there will be loss in the surface runoff. There will be some surface. You cannot supply all the 200 liters at the outlet to the roots. Is it not? Some there may be depression storages or some ditches are there. 100% level field. We cannot expect that all the losses are there. Right? Yes, very good. For sprinkler irrigation, 80% of water can be applied, or you can expect the 80% of water could be appear at the root zone. Right? But surface irrigation, hardly 60% of water supplied at the field should be expected at the root zone. Other 40% are going to be losses. Either may be percolation losses or runoff losses or evaporation losses or some more losses. That means usually sprinkler irrigation are most efficient rather than the surface irrigation. Right? Different types of irrigations once again continued. Efficiencies of water use. Now you root zone. Next, it is the ratio of the quantity of water used beneficially by the crop to the quantity of water delivered to the field. Out of that stored in the root zone, out of that stored in the root zone, 100% the root cannot be absorbed. That means the water will not absorb by the plant 100%. Some of the water may be lost during the absorption also itself. That is called as efficiency of water use. That means you now supply made this to use again this to. That is called as efficiency of water use. So quantity of water usually beneficial by the crop. How much of water is actually benefited to the crop? How much of water is actually involved for the metabolic actions or the growth of the plant to the stored in the root zone. Stored in the root zone. That's called as water use, water efficiency of water use. Water use. Therefore, eta or efficiency water use is equal to W 100 divided by WD. Quantity of water usually benefited by the crop. How much of water is supplied in the field? WF means field, right? Yes. Next, fourth quarter irrigation efficiency. Efficiencies of water storage. Storage efficiencies. It is a ratio of quantity of water stored in the root zone during the irrigation to the quantity of water needed in the root zone. That means how much of water is actually needed by the plant, how much of water is actually stored in the plant, stored in the root zone or nearby the root zone of the plant. That is called as storage efficiency. Storage in the, but actually water is available for the growth, but it is not be 100% useful for the. That means, for example, only hardly 2 liters of water is required by the plant, but we are storing that water at 4 liters or 3 liters like that. That is called as, once again, it is a storage efficiency. Storage efficiency, right? So quantity of water, eta storage is equal to, that is equal to Ws into 100 divided by Wn. Where quantity of water actually needed. Wn means needed. Water supplied, needed. Is it not? These are very simple equations. Very application, but useful for your design purposes and technical purposes. Yes, quantity of consumptive use. Efficiency of consumptive use. We did it. It is the ratio of the consumptive use of water to the quantity of water depleted from the root zone. Once again, consumptive use of water for the plant. It is the ratio of consumptive use of water to the quantity depleted. How much is supplied, how much is depleted. That is called as, once again, eta storage equal to WCU consumptive use 100 divided by WD. D is equal to quantity of water depleted from the root zone. Is it not? Efficiency of water distribution. Efficiencies of water, last 8.1. Efficiency of water distribution. It is determined by the following equation. With all the efficiencies what we have discussed, the distribution efficiency will be equal to 1 minus y divided by d into 100. Where, look at this, where y is equal to consumptive average numerical deviations in depth of water stored from average depth of water. D is equal to the water stored in the root zone during irrigation use of the water. Water stored in the root zone. That is, WD is equal to quantity of water depleted from the root zone. That is called as distribution efficiency. Altogether, how much of water is lost during the entire transmission period can be calculated using the distribution efficiency. Next part of this irrigation is assessment of irrigation water. So far we have discussed about the efficiency of our irrigation and how much that is an important definition we have discussed. Next one is very important for the point of view to the water managers or engineers who are involved in the maintenance of the canal system or network system, is assessment of irrigation water. That means levy or the amount has to be, for example, your government has spent thousands of crores for the irrigation network for the benefits of the farmers or benefits of the locality or for the states and other country as well, right? But whereas government is investing the money, some revenue has to be fetched from that from the farmers for the government also. So that means, so for example, if the farmers are taking the water abundant quantity, if they are not at all giving any revenue to the government, then For nowadays, for every commodities or for every natural resources, you have to pay the money, or the government is incurring the levy on that. You have to pay for example, water. For drinking water, you have to pay the water charges. For electricity, you have to fetch the electricity charges, right? Similarly, so and so for irrigation also, government has invested thousands of crores on the benefit of the farmers. We have to pay back to the government or the bodies which are responsible for the maintenance of the system, or for the initial amount incurred by the government or any person, you can say, right? So therefore, the system is adopted to assess the irrigation water. How they are going to assess, how they are going to charge, how they are going to levy the amount. How, even for example, in highways also, so many toll gates are there to incur the cost involved in it, is it not? So also in irrigation also, irrigation assessment is there, and you have to pay the levy for that. Or water rates, nowadays we are going to call it a water rates. Assessment of irrigation water. The water which has been supplied for irrigation to the farmers is at the government expense. Some national charges are applied to the farmers for using this water. The fixation of such charges is known as assessment of irrigation water. The fixing the charges for the farmers is called as assessment of the irrigation water. There are so many methods. Charges on farmers. The charges were applied on the farmers for the following seasons. To recover the cost of the construction of the project, there are the basis for the assessment are for the fundamental factors which is responsible for assessment of the charges are levying the water rates. One is the construction of the project. Because of the huge cost of the construction of the project, some has to be recovered from the farmers, right? To recover maintenance cost of the various works and staff improvement, is it not? In order to give the salaries to the maintenance staff, or in order to take out the maintenance of the system and improvement of the system, there you have to pay the amount, is it not? Because you are taking the benefits from that project, is it not? To collect some revenue from the nation also. To check cultivators and uneconomical and careless use of water. This last factor is very important. For if you give the amount for that, then naturally you will be cautioned that the economical use of water can be cultivated, or economical use of water can be think of, is it not? So if there is an abundant quantity of water without levying any charges, you will be the careless person. The farmers will be careless person, because they will not at all fetching any money for that, is it not? So it is an good because of the nation growth, or because of the farmers also, it is decided. Methods of irrigation. So many methods are there for the assessment of the water. One is assessment on the area basis or crop rate basis. Area basis means how much of water, how much of area is irrigated by this particular person or this particular farmer has to be given on the area basis. For 200 hectares, 12 rupees per hectare, like that. If it is rough is there. So 12 multiplied by total area will give the amount for that. That is called as area basis or crop basis. Crop basis means, for example, maize, cotton, so and so forth. For different crops, different rates, right? So this is a rough. These are all the methods of irrigation practiced throughout the world, right? Volumetric assessment. This is important. Volumetric assessment. Volumetric assessment is nowadays throughout the world practicing it and recommended it, because this is an accurate method. Why it is accurate means, in order to check all the disadvantages of the water misuse, volumetric method is more useful, because the water supplied to the field or farmer is measured in terms of volume, measured in terms of cubic meter of water. So for that cubic meter of water, he has to pay. Whether you grow the different crops, whether you use properly or so and so forth. So and for example, volumetric basis is assessed in rate of water supply. Is it not? Water supply. Water supply rates are not based on person in the house. Who are using that? They are charging on volumetric basis. Is it not? So they are giving correct method of assessment, and they will give the correct amount for that. That's called as volumetric method. Assessment on seasonal basis. Assessment on seasonal basis, depending upon the Kharif season, Rabi season, and biseasonal. This is also a rough estimation. Some the countries which are having abundant quantities, the countries which are developing stage, they are using other than this. Volumetric basis are nowadays practiced more and more, and developing countries also. Composite rate method basis. Composite rate basis. Okay, and both that volumetric or seasonal basis, right? Permanent basis, permanent assessment. Permanent assessment means, for example, for the particular project, that assessment is decided. That is called as permanent assessment, right? So little bit we discuss. We'll discuss what are the different advantages and disadvantages. We'll go through fast. In this method, for example, first one is assessment on area basis, right? In this method, rates are based on cost of the supplying water or the quantity of water used. The charges are fixed for different types of the crops and area basis. The rates fixed for various crops is low and old. Water rates should be between 5 to 12% of the gross income from the crop. The measurement are checked by DC, subdivisional officers and canal officers. Checking of irrigation area is duly of canal officers, right? For example, in seasonal basis or area basis, 5 to 12% of the gross income of the people has to be given for the levy, water rates, water charges, right? This is disadvantage. Disadvantages are more than the advantage of this method. Disadvantages are more wastage of water, since charges are not on quantity of water or not volumetric basis, right? Cultivators near head gets more water, and cultivators at the tail end will not get at all the water. The cultivators which are at the tail end will not get the water. Then how they will give the water rates? They are not at all getting the water. Means they will protest, or they will not give they will not ready to give the water rates, or they will not give at all the levy. Is it not? This is the main disadvantage of this method. Next one. In this method, charges are made on actual volume movement. This second method is, in this method, volumetric assessment. Volumetric assessment in this method, charges are made on actual volume of water supplied in terms of meter cube or cubic feet, right? So this is an ideal method. Economic use of water is insisted by this method. Shortfall in supplies can be located, because you are assessing the correct water, so shortfall which farmer is not getting the water can be assessed, and that concentrated can be made on that particular project or area or particular person or farmer. Practically not possible in India due to necessity of numerous water meters on canal irrigation systems and outlets, and difficult to maintain initial and maintenance cost. That's important. Volumetric method cannot be practiced in India because it requires the instruments for measurement of the volume. It requires maintenance of that particular instrument, and it requires education of the farmers because they are damaging the instruments. Is it not? So many reasons are there. Water meters cannot be installed, and the initial cost itself is more for our Indian countries, right? So therefore, for some foreign countries, they are practicing this method. Education of the farmers is a must for this. Assessment, right? Possible in tube wells. Cultivators may get water from unauthorized connections. The staff has keep records of meters all the time. Meters may not work on small heads. Still, silt and debris may obstruct the flow of water. Next, assessment of irrigation basis. In this method, the rate of assessment is based on the type of the crop grown in particular field during certain period. Season in this method is not applicable. This is the season basis. What I told, Kharif season during Rabi seasons, this is the new amount. Composite method is the combination of the water charges and land revenue. Some states collected both revenue of land as well as the water rates. It's the combination method. The revenue ಕಂದಾಯ ಮತ್ತು ನೀರಿನ ಕರಗಳನ್ನು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. That is called as composite method. Permanent betterment levy method ಅಂತಾರೆ. Permanent method. The cultivators in particular area may have their own source of water supply under ordinary conditions and may not use water from the canal in that area only to protect the drought period. Is it not? The farmers in that area are charged at fixed rate every year. Due to such provisions, such levy or charges are known as betterment levy. By paying taxes, farmers are authorized to use water from canal without charging extra above the betterment levy. Betterment levy, I think you might have heard the word of betterment levy. Betterment levy means both during the drought season, it is a permanent method of collecting the revenue from the government, and along with the land charges, right? Yes, the last session, numerical examples. Numerical example, let us one or two numerical examples can solve in this session also. One numerical examples. In the flow irrigation system, the canal is delivering water to the crop are detailed below. Determine the total volume required. Total volume required. Is it not?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. What crop period is given, area to be irrigated is given, duty of water is given, discharge is required, and volume is required. Right? Discharge is required, volume is required. So, yes, you can call it. You can look at this. Crop period is 365. Sugarcane 365 days. Area to be irrigated to 1,205 hectares. Duty is 850 hectare per cumex, and paddy is 120, 1,500, 850, so and so forth. And wheat is 120, 2,500, 1,700. Notice Q is equal to A by D. A by D. A by D. You will give this. A by D. A by D. Right? So 1.76, 1.4. So the volume of water is equal to Q into base period. Q is equal to discharge metric cube per second, into number of days. B is the number of days. So you will give the volume of water in meter cube. Volume of water in meter cube is, for example, sugarcane 536 meter cube of water is required. Paddy 211 meter cube of water. Wheat is 176 meter cube of water. Naturally, as usual, sugarcane requires more water because the base period is, or crop period is, 365 days. That is perennial crop, which requires water throughout the year. Paddy 120 similarly. So this is the amount of water required for each crop during the entire base period. So example number 2, the last one. Example number 2. Let us solve the example number 2. Example number 2 is that a canal is to be designed. A canal is to be designed for irrigating 5,000 hectares of land in Kharif crop and 4,000 hectares in Rabi crop. The water requirement for Kharif and Rabi crops are 60 centimeters and 25 centimeter respectively. The core period for Kharif is 3 weeks and for the Rabi is 4 weeks. Determine the discharge of channel for which is to be designed. Got the idea? That means 5,000 hectares of land is there for Kharif season and 4,000 of hectares land is there for the Rabi seasons, and also the period, base period or core period. Core period for the Kharif is 60 and also the Rabi is water requirement for Kharif is 60 centimeter and 25 centimeter respectively. Core depth is 60 centimeter and 25 centimeter. 60 centimeter for Kharif and 25 centimeter for Rabi. And similarly core period, B is a period. P is equal to 3 weeks and 4 weeks. Right? So solution for Kharif season here, how much of water is required, or how much of discharge is there, how much of discharge has to be flow in the canal is to be calculated in the different 3 seasons, Kharif as well as Rabi separately. Is it not? For example, Kharif season area is how much area? 5,000 hectares. Period is 3 weeks. Right? Duty of Kharif is equal to 8.64 B by delta. 8.64 B by delta. 8.64 multiplied B is equal to ಏನಪ್ಪ, how much it is? B is equal to 3 weeks. 3 weeks means 3 weeks. Number of days, 1 week is equal to number of days is equal to 7. So therefore 8.64 into 3 into 7 divided by delta is equal to 0.6. 60 centimeter and rest of 0.6 meters. So therefore the duty of water for Kharif season is equal to 302.4 hectare per cubic. Duty of the water during the Kharif season is 302.4 cubics hectare per cubic. Therefore discharge during the Kharif season is equal to duty is equal to A by Q, right? Duty is equal to A by Q. Therefore Q is equal to A by D. A by area divided by duty. Area is how much here? 5000 hectares. Duty is how much here? Calculated now only 302.4. Therefore 5000 divided by 302.4 is equal to 16.54 is the cubic or discharge during the Kharif season. How much it is? 16.54 cubics discharge is required for the particular season. So similarly, so also in the Rabi season, same factor, same calculation, repetition of the procedure, that is area is equal to 4000 hectares, core period is equal to 4 weeks. So duty of Rabi is equal to, the correction is there, instead of Kharif you have to do it as Rabi. So therefore duty of the Rabi is equal to 8.64 divided by delta. 8.64 multiplied by 4 weeks, that is the core period for the Rabi season is 4 weeks. 4 weeks means 4 into 7 days. So therefore 8.64 multiplied by 4 into 7 divided by 0.25 because 25 centimeter depth of delta is there. Delta is 25 centimeter for Rabi. Therefore the discharge, the duty of the water during Rabi season is 967.68 cubics. 968.16 cubics per hectare per cubic. Therefore discharge during the Rabi season is equal to, discharge correction is there, this instead of Kharif it should be Rabi. Discharge during the Rabi season is equal to 4000 divided by 7.68. You will give discharge is equal to 4.11. Small correction is there. Therefore you have to calculate the discharges separately. In order to design the canal, you have to club both the discharges during Rabi and Kharif, then you will get the total discharge. The canal has to be designed for that. This is the simple examples you have solved, numerical examples. It's like that. So many examples can be solved considering the duty, delta, and base period, core depth, so on and so forth. So many numerical examples are available. Try for that, and you will get you will understand that easily. Thank you, sir. Thank you, friends. Thank you, Manaju. So good luck for your future. Thank you.